So, you're addicted to coke, eh? Well, I got some coke for you. We got plenty of coke. Heckler and coke. Chambered in 9mm, 40 SW, 10mm auto, all the attachments you can think of, and any magazine you can dream of, as long as it fits in these. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and just start the video.
The apocalypse.
Greetings, comrades! This is Sergei Kilemov. Welcome to another H3 VR video. And yes, you can see on the table, we have a legendary submachine gun to talk about. This is the MP5, developed by Heckler and Koch. And it's been around since 1966. Hard to believe, but it's been around for so long. So it's a very reliable SMG. It's used all over the world, including America. Used by SWAT teams, police forces, and even some military groups. But we have an astounding number of MP5s here. This game has a whopping 28 different varieties of MP5 to choose from. And this is going to be a multi-part video, so I'm going to say at least 2 parts. As you see, we have a few here, and we also have more over here. You see, we have the SD versions, which are integrally suppressed. And basically what I spawned here are the MP510 variants, which are these 2 over there. The MP540 variants, which are over there, and to the far left, you have the MP5A series, which is 5 different guns, 6 if you include that wooden furniture one, but we'll get to that one. And that's not even including, well, they're not going to be in here, they're actually going to be with the machine pistols. Because yes, we have quite a selection. See, we have these here. We'll cover those in the SD variants in a later video, because we already have quite a bit to cover there already. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We only have 10 variants, so that's just a little over a third of the total number of MP5 variants there are in this game. So, for the sake of brevity, it's going to be a 2, maybe 3-part series. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started over here. We start with the good old MP5A series. This is the A1, we got the A2 with a fixed stock, an A3 with a collapsible stock, an A4, which has additional firing mode, we'll get to that in a minute, and the A5, which is basically that with the new trigger group. Now this is the A1, it basically has an SEF fire group. Basically safe, single fire, and believe full auto, because the A4 and A5 integrated burst fire, 3-round burst. So SEF, it basically stands for the German words for safe, single, and full auto. That's my guess. I'm Russian, not German. But yes, we all know about this gun. We see a lot in movies, video games, and of course Call of Duty. Now the MP5Ks you saw earlier over there, as you can see there, you see that little foregrip up there? Some of you might be familiar with that. Funny thing, the appearance of the MP5K in Black Ops 1 is actually anachronistic, whereas it took place around the 1963-1964. The MP5 never actually went into production until '66. So their excuse was be able to use quote-unquote prototype weapons, which I guess we'll give them that one. But anyway, as you can see, the A1 here, A2 and A3 have the SEF fire group, whereas the A4 and A5, they have 4 different fire modes. You got safe, single, burst, and full auto. And these are basically the same gun here with the same fire group. It's just this one, of course, you can see has no stock, though you can put a stock on if you want. The A2 here has a fixed stock, and the A3 has a collapsible stock. Good for concealment, portability, and, you know, close range engagements, all that. So, and we also have the MP5 here with wooden furniture. It basically has the SEF fire group, so we've got a wooden stock, and of course wooden foregrip. But Didn't mean to drop that. I'll go and hang on to it. One thing you'll notice is that we have quite a few attachments here. We got a 15-round magazine here. We got two 30-round mags. We have a curved one and a straight magazine, which you don't see very often. And of course, you go full, you got to have a 100-round drum magazine. Come on now. Now let's go quick down over here. Before we get to these, we have quite a few other selections here. We got a few sights here, but we also got a selection of foregrips here, or I should say handguards. So you have your standard grip here. Of course, we've got to have one with Picatinny rails, so if you want to put laser sights, foregrips, you can. And this one you might be familiar with. You see this a lot in video games and movies. You have the MP5 with the foregrip, the flashlight built in. I've even seen some toy action figures with that kind of configuration. Of course, we've got the wooden handguard. And a nice little vented handguard. Looks nice. And we also have a little Picatinny rail adapter for the top of the gun. So if you want to add a sight, you can. And I guess we'll talk about these real quick. These, the MP5 40, which is chambered in 40 S&W. And you can see we got single burst and full auto on these. And again, one is a collapsible stock, one is a fixed stock. This is the 40 S&W magazine, straight magazine, by the way. And then we have the MP5 10, the A4 and A5, fixed stock, collapsible stock. And as the name suggests, it's chambered in 10mm auto. But they all use the same attachment, so if you want to put a new handguard, you can. No, they all use the same Picatinny rail adapter. And of course, they use the same attachments and stuff. The only difference is the ammo. As I mentioned before, those are chambered in 9mm, which, we're all familiar with. That's the version you see in video games a lot. What you don't see a lot are the 10mm variants and the 40 S&W variants. So, now we got a quick little rundown of what these guns look like and what they, basically what you expect from them. We can get some real fun. Okay, let's go and set up my vest here. And I guess a 15-round mag, because why not? But anyway, as I mentioned, the A1 here does not have a stock, though you can attach one if you want, which I guess we can do a little experiment here. Let's see, attachments. Now, naturally, you wouldn't use these kind of stocks on an MP5, let alone any gun that isn't what these are designed for. But let's get a little inventive, Bet you never see an MP5 with the stock like this, though I think you can see why. As you can see, the cheek rest here gets in the way of the iron sights, so you can't really aim down there properly. So, obviously that's not ideal. This will be a little more ideal, though it's obviously a stock for the PP2000, not the MP5, but, of course, press down on the touchpad to take it off. But, yeah. Interesting little thing here, so let's go get some real fun down. We'll start with a 15-round mag. And, of course, we all know what the MP5 is famous for. The H&K slap. Now, fun fact, it's actually the most effective way to properly chamber a round in an MP5. Basically, you pull this charging handle up, put it in the mag, then slap it down. Alright. That's single fire. And that's full auto. Now, naturally, the 15-round mag would go through pretty quickly. So let's go for a 30-round instead. This is probably a good opportunity to show off that H&K slap. Now, you could technically do it with the UMP45, which is going to show off later on. But, it seems to only work on SMGs. You could technically do it on assault rifles like the G3, but doesn't work as effectively. So, basically, got the charging handle up, put a magazine in, chambered, it's good to go. So that's the A1. Now for the A2. which is a fixed stock. Of course, same fire group, safe, single, full auto. So let's go and do a straight mag this time. Now, you can technically do it when it's already empty, but it's mainly when you're reloading a new mag after firing. So let's go and try a farther range. It's a little more stable because we have the stock, of course. And of course, you can actually do this with the magazine still inside. Pull out the charging handle, take out the mag, put one in, and there you go. A little bit of lag there, but whatever. Now for the A3, though. This is the one, well, these two you actually see the most in video games. You know, you got the stock here. I seem to see this one a lot more, the collapsible stock. So the A3 you see a lot in video games. Okay. I keep forgetting to do the HK. It's just so cool, even though it would be more fun if you see an actual hand slapping it instead of a controller. Let me do that again. How about that? All this time I've been doing it like you hold the trigger in order to disengage it, but no, you actually don't have to hold the trigger. You know, you use it to grab onto the charging handle. You don't have to do that to do the HK slap. That is really cool. I did not know that until now. Well, with that revelation, bleh. You know what? Let's dolly this up a little bit. Okay, get a little flashlight handguard there, and let's go and put a rail adapter on, and I guess a scope. Now, you might be wondering why you would use a scope like this with a 9mm SMG. Good question. Wish I had an answer for it. It's all about cool factor for me. Pull the mag. Put one in. HK slap. Very nice. Okay, let's take the scope out. Take the adapter out. And we'll leave the handguard on. And of course we got the MP5 with wood furniture. Might as well. Same fire group, SEF. And you probably can't tell through the actual video, but the iron sights on the MP5 are pretty decent. You can actually adjust them too, which at least I can get a good angle here. By pressing the trigger, you can adjust the sights a little bit to adjust for different ranges and whatnot. So, those are the MP5 A1 through A3. Now for the A4 and A5, which, as I mentioned before, adds 3 burst capabilities. And let's daisy this up a little bit too. Get a little vented foregrip there. And let me get a different sight. As cool as that scope is, to me, one of these red dot sights or hollow sights, a little more ideal for an MP5, because let's be honest, you're not going to be sniping with this. You're mainly be engaging in, close quarters battles and whatnot. So you want something that's small, maneuverable, and easy to control, especially if you're going full auto. So, all right. Now, let's go and do those targets over there, the ones that are farther away. Okay, so, disengage safety. Single fire. Now for the 3-round burst. And of course, full auto. Very nice. Take on the mag. But that is really cool. I was not aware you can actually do the HK slap without having to hold down the trigger when you normally engage the charging handle. That's pretty cool. So, there's the A4, now the collapsible stock A5, and let's make this interesting. Let's, you never thought you'd see an MP5 A5 with a wooden foregrip, or, handguard or whatever. I always get foregrip and handguard confused, but whatever. You have an idea what I'm talking about. I'm actually not trying to aim this time. There we go. So, those are all the 9mm variants. And I forgot to use the drum mag. Which, you know what? Yeah, let's do this again. Let's get this big boy in. You don't see too many MP5s in movies and video games using a 100 round drum mag. But, hey. Today, you will. For when you just want to spray and pray, this is the way to go. Now, we get to the different calibers here. Now, the one we see the most these days are 9mm. That one's dancing around a little bit. But now we get to the MP5 40 and MP5 10, chipping 40 S&W and 10mm auto, respectively. This is the A4 has a fixed stock, A5 collapsible stock. You notice, same as A4 and A5 over there. We got single fire, burst fire, and full auto. And just like those, use the same attachments. Though, weird thing with the MP5, sometimes you kind of have to force the handguard on there. You gotta have to jostle around a bit till it actually attaches, so it takes a little getting used to. So, since we got this here Picatinny rail, we're gonna spawn another, and I still need to spawn another adapter. If I'm going to do that real quick as soon as I get to the right category. Picatinny adapter, slap that on, slap the sight on, and of course gotta make it tactical, you know me. And so if you see this kind of laser sight on an MP5, you usually see this on like assault rifles and whatnot. Now, for realism purposes, you obviously will not attach the laser sight here, because you can see it gets away with the charging handle, so we're going to put it in there. Make sure it's on. And of course, got to have the foregrip. Going to use the Knight foregrip, which came with the updated Mark 18. And this should be enough room for a flashlight, granted a small one, but nonetheless, I think it can fit. Now, if you don't feel like using that one handguard with a flashlight built in, you could do it like this if you want. Now, the MP5 40 and the MP5 10 have one major drawback as far as I'm concerned. Only 30 round magazines for these, so no drum mags for either of these. But, you know, they are chambered for different calibers, so, and both of them use straight magazines instead of the usual curved magazines we see. And you'll notice that it's a lighter gray than the normal magazine, so I guess it makes it a little easier to differ from calibers or whatnot. I'm not sure. So there's the HK slap. Of course, now naturally with 40 S&W or 10mm auto, it's going to hit a little bit harder than the standard 9mm we all know and love. But naturally, since you only have a 30 round magazine, you really got to control your shots. Thankful to burst fire, it's somewhat easy to keep your shots on target. And then we got the A5 with the collapsible stock. We're going to shoot this one naked. The gun naked, not me. Because you see me shooting the gun naked, you probably go blind. You probably bleach your eyeballs and dip your head in gasoline. And then set it on fire. Didn't mean to get his handguard there. So that's 40 S&W. I wasn't trying to hit the target at the time. I was just, you know, spraying and praying. And finally, for this video, go for the MP5 10, which is chambered in 10mm auto. And might as well show it off real quick. You probably can't tell through here, but you can see the 10mm auto. The casing's a little bit longer than the 40 S&W, but probably tell. Well, I put them a little closer together, but my controllers are kind of getting in the way. They're roughly the same size, the magazines. But if you look carefully, the bullets, the 10mm auto here, the bullet itself is slightly smaller, but it still hits harder than the 9mm. Now you can charge it like this if you want, but let's be honest, when you got an MP5, you gotta do the H&K slap. I just realized I forgot to do the infinite thing on my vest, so might as well spawn another magazine here. In the magazine, H&K slap. And last but not least, the MP5 10A5 collapsible stock. Same fire group, same 10mm awesomeness. And that's it for this video. We have quite a few different MP5s here. That's only a fraction of what we got. You can technically just check out the other variants by you know, fixing up some of the stocks and foregrips and whatnot to make the proper variants, but some of them, they're already available. So for the next video, we're going to be covering the SD series. We have a whopping 6 different SD variants here, and basically it's the same as the MP5As we covered earlier, since a 9mm. Obviously the difference is we have a different handguard here, as well as the integrated suppressor. But yeah, we'll cover those in the next video, and we're also going to cover, not that, we're also going to cover, where are the machine pistols? Here they are. We're going to the MP5Ks, and we have 6 different variants here too. But again, by changing up the stocks and you know, foregrips and whatnot, you can make the other variants. So let's just say 10 in this video, 12 in the next one. So we're going to be covering the MP5 SDs and the MP5Ks in the next video. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and look forward to the next one. Until then, a teaser of what's to come. Me forgetting to charge the safety for one. Me missing on my target another. So until then, do svidaniya.
Atoms fall apart. Solar flares arrive. Buildings collapse. Only a few will survive.